itself. But anyway, game has started now, so I'll let you roll in.
Victory is ours.
And we are live.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to our first game of this semi-final series. We have playing on Elst Outskirts from the southeast as the Brits. It's going to be Captain S. Price and his teammate playing as the Soviets, Prodigy.
In the north, hailing from Russia, he's the pound for pound one of the best players in history. It's Noggano, one of the best 2 vs 2 players ever, of course, because he's part of one of the best teams ever. That's a lot of evers. It's Scotch, ever present and ever faithful teammate to Noggano. This guy's a beast. There are some people that tried to convince one another that Noggano carried this team, but I have seen amazing performances by Scotch in 2 vs 2. If he had ever cracked the, decided to take a crack at 1 vs 1 elite competition, I have no doubts he would have gone very far in some of the other tournaments we've held. So this is the matchup. Scores wiped 0-0. Semi-finals of Qualification Tournament 1 for Anniversary Classic 2 vs 2 tournament celebrating 5 years of Company Heroes 2. That's its official name.
Yeah, you make an interesting point about Scotch. Gold Path 2 used to be a collective team. So you had Noggano and Serrano and Scotch. Do you know what I mean? There were 3 and they used to switch out the members. So out of those, I mean, they all have different dynamics when they play together, but Noggano Scotch has just always been very, very strong. They're obviously the ones that have continued. Pleasure to cast them all the time. So this is going to be a fantastic series, honestly.
I'm excited. I'm feeling well lubricated and ready to do a great job with my casting partner Stormus of bringing you the semi-final. I'm looking forward to it greatly. Nice Uror comes in. Combat engineers have to vacate the house thanks to the pressure from Scotch's Wehrmacht.
This is nice aggression at the start from Prodigy, Uraring in to try and get a retreat from the MG42 there. You've got the Grenadiers trying to stop this retreat from happening. And actually not even a model dropped there. It's really, really lucky for Scotch, to be honest.
It absolutely is lucky indeed. And meanwhile, in the north, we've had a slightly less lucky situation as a Tommy has been wiped in the early going.
You do not want that to happen at the start of the game. Price already very much on the back foot. Wasn't able to get a retreating Volksgrenadier from Noggano. So both players, I think, actually possibly retreating a little bit late. But it's Price that comes out worse for wear there.
A tale of 2 instances. One went in one player's favour, and then it went in the exactly opposite team's.
We're already seeing a much different mechanic than in the previous games that we cast on this map with these factions. Actually, allies could be taking double fuel at the start. This is going to be really important for teching, focusing on those resources early on. They want to get their light vehicles out as quick as possible and get some kind of field dominance. And,
saying that,
pretty
though,
good strat.
the Pioneers just pushed down into the south and popped with their flamethrower. Meanwhile, the conscripts now have to be a little bit careful, so we're seeing fuel trading hands. If they're to get good fuel dominance done, what kind of breakthrough units do you expect to see for the players that would make it interesting in the early to mid game?
Do you know, I still think on this map, I like seeing the austere, half-track. Flame half-track has always just been so good, and also because the ability to ground attack through the hedgerows is so good when there are sight blockers. For allies, I mean, I'm not so much a fan of the AEC here, but the T-70 is going to be essential. Always is, if nothing else, just for that recon it provides.
Haven't actually seen much of the 251, but we have got different factions we're casting for the first time today, so maybe we'll see it rear its flaming ugly head today. Nice situation mitigation by the conscripts, making their way around the cusp of that sandboat, but they still have to run through the flames regardless. Meanwhile, in the southwest, we've got the MG42 now operating with 900 rounds of hot lead.
Forces capturing supply sector.
I've seen a lot of sensible play today, and one of the good things. Again, we talk about like the development of this scene. Going back, we used to see a lot of players hitting like instant retreat when they come into suppression or whatever. Like now, you see players have matured a lot in Company of Heroes, especially from watching others. And Prodigy there, he's staying in the points even though he's under suppression, even though he's maybe losing model. He's calculating whether it's right to retreat or to get the resources first. And actually, the resource game is just so much better in 2v2 these days.
Just seen that each of these 4 Tommy squads now has an additional member allocatable. 4-man squads will soon become 5, and which will really allow Prize to attempt to dominate.
It's like the Spice Girls reunion tour. They've just unlocked Posh Spice.
She's been told the money is now enough, and they can exploit their largely female fandom in what they're calling the Cash Grab Tour 2018. We haven't hit menopause yet.
Oh dear. We've got a bit of an Ura in. Prodigy's going. Actually, he's going to go for a decap. Not 100% sure why he's going so aggressive on that point, because he actually owns the fuel on the right-hand side. Not much of a need to push that deep into territory, I would have thought.
He changed his mind quite quickly enough. It was only 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
He has got a good flank on this MG42. Once again, we see a repeat of an earlier engagement where MG42 is having to do a little bit of a do-si-do. Does end up with the retreat.
Does indeed, thanks to the do-si-do of the conscripts. And Grenadiers now come to try and rectify this situation. 7 kills in the early going for these Grenadiers. Not too bad, but they will be pushed away thanks to the Rock Knight flamethrower popping around the corner with its first burst of flame. Emitting now, but is it too late for the conscripts? Oh, could have been a lot worse if it wasn't for the combat engineers saving the day.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
Very interesting start game, actually, because we did see double fuel for allies at the start. It's been reversed, or is about to be reversed at least, if this decap doesn't go ahead. With Axis actually controlling some of the resources for a while. I actually think getting that light vehicle out early on is just so critical because, especially if they come with like flame projectors or, they've got good AoE shell damage, it just makes such a difference.
It really does, and it's one of those things that can, swing the game in your favour. It's all about shock tactics and getting those units out that cause your opponent to have kind of like a moment of shock and reverberation. And we got 2 units about to hit the battlefield right now. One, the AEC, ahead of time, making its way onto the field as we speak. And the other, well, hesitated for their AE, it just about nearly did it, is of course the 222, the scout car for the Germans.
It's funny, going back and saying that I didn't really fancy the AEC, it's, I guess it's actually a very versatile and useful vehicle. We always talk about its stun ability. That stun ability carrying into the late game is just godly, to be quite honest. It's 17 seconds turret stun.
We do have a truck up for Noggano though, so it is, going to get Fausted very shortly. Meanwhile, conscripts in a very tricky predicament. They got a really bad retreat path thanks to the LMG Grenadiers and the scout car. LMG Grenadiers get out of the house to get a better shot. They go prone. They get a burst off, but it isn't enough.
Not seeing much from Prodigy. He's actually continuing to go for this left side. He just managed to find a way to get up to the green cover sandbag, which means he shouldn't take suppression from the MG42 if it turns. But he keeps hitting that engagement with the same units, just trying to whittle it down over time. And now we're going to see the scout car come to clear that up and stop the decap of fuel.
Scout car marauding around. The combat engineers won't be able to stay for much longer, but they did achieve a neutralization of the fuel point. Meanwhile, MG42 watching over the center. Here comes the Ura from the conscripts. A tale as old as time.
We've seen this engagement every single minute of this game so far.
We have. It has happened a few times now. And meanwhile, this is a great game. We've got a trifecta of action. all on the battlefield. 3 engagements in unison. So difficult to capture all of the action for you, so we're doing our damnedest in Mile on the north. Possible Faust coming in, but wasn't to happen. Good action by Captain S. Price's Tommies. Meanwhile, in the south, what do your Hawkeyes see, Daniel?
Well, we do have a T-70 that's going to come and help support this push to get the fuel back. Engineers not just able to get into cover there, so they're suppressed by the MG and have to retreat, but now it's the T-70's time to come in and make that difference. The scout car may be able to pick some shots, but it's going to struggle with the support of the conscripts.
We are losing a sector.
Trying to threaten something here. I think this is a ploy by Scotch. He's pretending he's got a Pack 40 he doesn't have. That is the level of play we're dealing with here, and that is causing Prodigy to be a little bit careful.
Well, he does have the Pack 40. It's just not on the front line just yet.
But still, you know, my point kind of stands. He didn't have it in the situation, and now he does. So now it's no longer a ploy or a poker hands. It's now a genuine loaded Pack 40, which just unloaded on the T-70 and forced it away. Meanwhile, in the north, Tommy's pushed away after a big push in there. We've got MG34 action. Flurries of resistance and quashing of said resistance all over the battlefield.
I think we're definitely being treated here to a very good game, because unlike the other games, there's no static map control here. There's no build-up. Actually, the engagement's happening constantly. It makes it very difficult for players to lock down. You know, there's just constant calculations needing to be made. Constant attention to snaring. The map's being decapped really nicely. You see Scotch taking the decap for fuel on the center strategic cutoff. It's really deep level map strategy play.
And deep level tactical cohesive battle group play from Captain S. Price in the north there, using 4 Tommies in unison to bully away the Foch Grenadiers. It's a great map for it. When you're blobbing in a high-level game, you want a lot of sight blockers in order to surprise your opponent. And that's why mines are going to be really useful. And these Stern Pioneers and Pioneer are going to have a lot of work to do in this game.
Look at those Stern Pioneers chasing down the British Tommies. I mean, they really are able to just hold their own, firing on the run, not really taking much damage from the other Tommy squads.
And Tommies, in comparison, are the worst on the move accuracy baseline infantry squad. Well, yeah, of the 5 factions.
Don't you think it's so weird to see Axis control left fuel here?
Yes.
And Allies control right. It's a bit of a reversal from, I think, what we're familiar with.
There you go, there's the TAC map on display there. Showing the full situation. The north looks pretty spicy. Let's take our camera over there. AEC watching over, Raketenwerfer getting into view. Meanwhile, in the centre, it's all about the 222 watching over the conscripts. Will they cap? No, they won't.
Well, this is nice from Prodigy. He's brought the AT gun over. He's going to use the barrage ability to put pressure on that MG. That's going to allow the conscripts to go in. And it's all about clearing the AT gun for the T-70 to go in and cause some havoc.
And Havoc's the name of the game for Prodigy. It's what he thrives on. Almost like the Zerg.
Scotch has just got that decap again. Even if they connect fuel, even if they capture fuel, it will not connect. And Scotch is just being so brutal. He's always got the squad available to decap that point and make things really, really hard for Prodigy.
There's a large contingent of units in the centre, double pushing from Prodigy and Captain S. Price, but the MG42 at the extent of its limits just about suppressed the combat engineers. They managed to get within the circle though. Brandy is surviving in the south, and eyes on Tekken Dan. What can we see emerging soon?
Let's have a little look right now. I mean, I was just looking at Price for his commander pick. No surprises there. He's gone for the Commando Regiment. So we're probably looking to see that drop pretty soon. He's used the Commando so well in all of the games, and it will make a difference when they hit the field. As for Prodigy, again, I mean, I like that they're not instant picking their commanders here. Shows there's a little bit of room for their opponent's selections.
And obviously on the Axis standpoint, so of course we have Noggano special operations. Whatever famous combination can you think that's more famous than that combination? Noggano famously losing.
Noggano's been playing that commander for years.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't think I've seen him pick another commander. He's probably the easiest telltale player in the game.
Bring many surprises. It's more his steady war. I was going to say Warhammer, but that wouldn't make any sense. But he is a hammer of war, regardless. He just kind of batters you down into submission, does Noggano. Fantastic all-round player. There's no side of his game that is weak, except possibly for strategic surprise.
Things seem to have slowed down a little bit, actually. It's such a massive infantry engagements in the start of that. It was actually quite chaotic, and for both teams to come out with fairly little in the way of losses is quite impressive, I would say. This is a high-level game for Earth Outskirts. You got very deep capping from Captain Price around the edge of the map, and if anything, it's just going to make the Axis feel like they can't move out in their own territory areas easily.
Will this Panzer IV that's been built by Noggano become a heroic Panzer IV like we've already seen today? And it's going to go on a merry journey now. It's firstly going to attack in the east. Meanwhile, Noggano's got a...
You see the body blocking with the Volksgrenadiers on the right.
I do indeed. Volksgrenadiers that had body blocked are now bodies themselves. Meanwhile, Infiltration Grenade did a great amount of work there. Tommy's just about surviving though. Panzer IV gets a huge shot in on the AEC, and the Tommies watch on in horror. But the work was done by the OKW there.
That was really good. He brought up the Raketten expecting that AEC would come in. It's just allowed the Panzer IV to push the infantry away. But really, really good play. The the infiltration grenades went down as soon as that engagement kicked in. So just huge pressure on Price, and he loses the squad. What more can you ask for?
Nope. If you were his coach, you're saying keep it up, basically. Don't let your guard down. You've applied good pressure. But the Allies are the most successful 2 versus team. Sorry, the Axis, rather, of all time. Did an old switcheroo there, and it's going to be tough going. They've got a lot of stamina, resilience, and most of all, testicular fortitude, which means they'll keep on gunning for you, even if you get small gains. You're going to have to keep on getting them, because otherwise they'll get straight back into the game.
Having a look at potential attacking, it's going to be Captain Price bringing out a Cromwell to match up against the Panzer IV. About to hit the field any second, and we have Tier 4 from Prodigy. No commander pick yet, so still the opportunity for the T-3485s. Maybe he'll bring out an Su-85 to complement what Price is doing, but... Interesting, I think actually in every game we've seen so far, Prodigy's picked his commander by this point, so...
T-70?
Maybe there's something they're not connecting with.
8 kills so far. And we've got an amassed Soviet force in the south, particularly maybe plotting something here, but he's up against staunch resistance. Meanwhile, in the north, there's a skirmish emerging as the Tommies push onto that fuel. There's shoe mines waiting. They don't have a minesweeper. They do have the Cromwell, however. And what else can we see on the battlefield, Dan?
Well, as far as the battlefield goes, 2 players that are fighting 1v1s, I think. It's another one of those games. I think when we see this, it's when a team actually gets together and brute force pushes one team off of the map. That's when we start to get the really good plays come in. Actually, Scotch is diving in with the scout car. It's a little bit risky. He's got the Brumbear in for support.
Oh!
A big hit on that.
And it wasn't enough to keep the 222 alive. The T-70's in pursuit. Suppressed Grenadiers can't Faust because they're crawling on their bellies, and the T-70 will survive. So a rather pacified engagement there. Could have been a lot worse for either of the 2 combatants.
I'm very glad to see the Brumbear on the field, to be honest, because this is what was missing from the Dev-M and Hans games when they were playing against Prodigy and Price. Good shot! My god!
What a shot by the Rakettenwerfer. The Panzer IV working in unison. The Tommy's now going to try and make better of the situation. But infiltration grenades! Huge shot Will the French Grenadiers be able to get in the garrison, finish the job maybe? The Panzer IV could do the same. It's going to gun for them. But the AEC just about covers their retreat.
Those infantry squads were incredibly lucky to make out of that engagement alive.
Brumbear attacking the trees. Repositions. This time maybe attacks the infantry.
Oh.
Well, nearly. Brumbear is due a small nerf in the intervening weeks between this and the next qualifier. Should make it a little bit less, have a little bit less range and frontal armor, I believe. To be confirmed.
You've really got to admire how Noggano and Scotch are dealing with the with Price's game plan strategy here. Three MGs from OKW from Noggano. Scotch is just piling on the infantry and MGs himself, but actually compositionally I think their loadouts are very, very strong to deal with this kind of thing.
I think Captain S. Price has now assembled the blob, and look, it's absolutely beautiful. It's like a World War I mission. Come on, boys, over the top and kill those Jerrys. Fantastic stuff.
I think they've possibly been hard countered here. I mean, in terms of the infantry, Scotch has upgrades on all the grenadiers, so, you know, he's going to be able to match. He's got the munitions for rifle grenades, and then all these machine guns just adding the suppression. Actually, allies, I don't think they can really move.
Yeah, but the amount of stiff upper lips on display there, I mean, how many squads is that? 6? There are... No, there's a Royal Engineer as well. 35 stiff upper lips. That is uncounterable. And they march on regardless of engineer fire. Plane crash over here, by the way. It's pretty horrific.
Oh, the Panzer IV crush!
How many did it
That
get?
looked like it was going to be huge, but just in the nick of time.
One Tommy to go down, perhaps. AC comes to mitigate. T-34 pushes in. Saves its life yet again. How many times does Captain Price get away with this?
You can see that stun here. In fact, he does use it. That's the turret lock we were talking about. And even though the turret is moving, is that bugged?
AC possibly getting taken out by the Brumbear of all things. It was a mine it hit. T-34 has to relinquish its position because the French Grenadiers march on, as that was a possible win for the Axis all in all there. They hold strong. 2-2-2 possibly to go down. T-70 gets the kill. What's this? The ability is ready. It's Stuka close. Air support. Here they come. Goering's finest. Big Brumbear shot forces away the conscripts. This is becoming a hellacious battle on Alst outskirts.
Axes are all over allies here. Prodigy and Price have huge problems. They can't even fend off the Ju-87s. The Panzer IV is just crushing this blob that Price has spent such a long time amassing. There really is nothing to contend it.
Price is playing lemmings right now. And he's come up against a very large obstacle. And I don't think he has the right lemmings because they're going to have to run away. T-70 with a pretty decent 16 kills, 1 vehicle destroy, of course. The one we saw on camera only a few minutes ago. But Pak-40s do wait in the mist. And they will, of course, take it out should that moment come.
This is a very strong game from Gold Path 2. I think this is what we expected as well. The 2v2 team has so much experience. They will have played against strategies like Price and Prodigy are playing daily, regularly. Do you know what I mean? They're going to know this inside out. And
Panzer IV disassembles the building and it comes crushing down on the Tommy squad. They're in.
Where's the precision strike? AT guns there, I think.
Oh, Jesus Christ! It's all happening now! AT guns decrewed, Grand 3-man squad can't do anything about it. Here comes the Panther, gunning for the T-70. Do the conscripts have 18 aids? No, they don't, but the Panther might not know that. T-34 comes in to push him away. Zisgun waits. What a game! What a game.
This is a very good game, actually. I think every minute we're seeing less and less of chance of a comeback. I don't really know that that Price has got anything to play with. You look at the Axis right now, they're bringing on a second Brumbear. We've got the Command Panther on the field. You know, there's going to be teching choices for Noggano again soon. He's already got Panzer IV and Command Panther. It's just, you know, I'm not really seeing that Price is going to be able to do any work with that Firefly.
This isn't the Price we saw in the previous series, the Price that reigned victorious over Hans and Demon. This is Price going back to blobbing, and it's not working in this game, it must be said. Not working at all. Although this French Grenadier is about to die, of course, to prove my point wrong. Oh, no he didn't. Ooh, what's happening in the south? Brumbear! Hellacious shots. Ziskun's there to counter, though.
See, that Brumbear needs to be careful. No reaction really to that, except for the Pioneers and Grenadiers going to chase that away. There isn't really any defense for these AT guns. This is a big mistake to leave these out in the open.
Rams him! Crew shocked. Is there a counter? Does he now have AT grenades? No, he doesn't. T-70 getting mauled by the Stukas. Could get taken out. Possibly not. Brumbear watching over. Here comes another. Flies harmlessly overhead. There are no targets right now because all the tanks hiding in base. Mind you, here comes a Firefly. Big shot in on the Brumbear. Oh.
Wow, I mean...
Stolen! Zis divisional machine gun there. Will he get out of dodge? Conscripts don't have the best far accuracy. LMG Grenadiers have great accuracy at pretty much every range. Great DPS also. Zis might fire on them though. Could actually destroy the squad here. Oh.
Wow, I mean... There's so little that allies can do here, really. They don't have the resources to pull out the necessary units on the field. Prodigy looks like he's going for an ISU, but really what good is that going to do in this situation?
ISU 152. It's not the map for it, it's not the game for it, and it's not the answer. Possibly not anyway, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, they do have victory points remaining. They've got 176, but they're dropping at just under 3 every 3 seconds. So, 1 a second. And, pintle mount of the glorious Panzer IV. Look at that kill count. 26 infantry have bitten the dust thanks to this Predator. Meanwhile, we have a push out from Prodigy in the south.
Well, outside the base, I mean, really, Noggano. Noggano is, do you remember a lot of the games we used to cast of him? We always see him play with like very few units, and used to play very well with maybe like 3 or 4 units on the field all the way through the game. Actually, here, he's actually built quite a lot. He's playing it very well. It makes him even stronger than I think I've seen him before. And actually, maybe the little bit of money injected into this event has brought out an even more ferocious side to him.
Can we point out
flawless?
It's now more than ever with the geopolitical climate being what it is. The ruble versus the dollar is very low. So $5,000 to Noggano should he win this tournament. That's a hell of a lot. That's like. I don't want to speak out of turn as we see a squad wipe there, by the way, but that is just a hell of a lot of money. Probably 3 months' salary, I don't know. It's a lot. You can say you're a pro CO2 player for a small amount of time. As the Brumbear rains fire down on the veteran C3 T70. But it's a good point, Dan, to be honest. It's a very good point. Money is a motivating factor, and these guys are going to be fighting hard and fighting fiercely for the jackpot that is on offer in this tournament. Thanks to Sega.
A real struggle here. I've got to say, right-hand side, complete lockdown by Noggano. He's only actually got the 2 MGs there, but Price really only has the infantry. Hasn't been able to break that at all. It's a complete flaw in his strategy. And I kind of feel bad for Prodigy, because Prodigy probably has the best chance of pushing through in this game. He doesn't have the support of Price. Price is still trying to battle out on the right-hand side. And really, I feel they both need to group together and try to make something happen with what they've got.
Just to clarify on a previous point, a Ruka clan member from Russia has clarified that it's 10 months average salary, which is a huge amount of money. And of course, Noggano will be fighting to the bitter end, as will his French teammate Scotch. They're brothers in arms, and they're doing damn well at fighting here. Panzer 4, now Veterancy 4.
Oh, we got a retreat path here that's currently covered by Volksgrenadiers.
Oh.
This is dangerous. There's some low health squads there. I think Price is trying to soft retreat. There comes the Command Panther. Will he get marked target on that Firefly? Yes, he does.
Is Captain S. Price gonna be Captain S. Price right now as the Stuka annihilates him on his retreat path? He can't retreat though, because these Terminator squads, look at the veterancy on these bad boys. They are brutal.
Firefly goes down to the Ju-87.
Here it goes.
No retreat options.
Here it goes, infiltration grenades on retreat. Don't hit them up. They do on the straggler there. Panzer 4 in a brutal situation crushes the Tommies as they run back to base. Captain Price, take some of your own medicine there, my boy, because it's a foul-tasting medicine. It's the medicine of the blobber being out-blobbed.
Just seeing this ISU rock up on the field kind of makes my heart break. It's just not going to do anything. Prodigy trying to cover for Price's shortcomings actually isn't going to be able to do it. Throws in the towel, and GG to Noggano and Scotch.
Victory is ours.
Back. Wow, what a game one. Only one.
I'm not surprised, because I think I said before that